National title game, baby. We are in Los Angeles, California. Myself and Nick Brake hit the road. We're going to be at the game on Monday. But you and I both saw that spread open, and it was 13.5 points favoring Georgia. So TCU is very much so an underdog in this football game. So with that being said, it's college football, and it would be the most college football 2022 season thing ever for TCU to find a way to win this one. So that brings me to the question, how could TCU do it? Like, you already know our pick in this game. If you haven't yet watched our prediction video, go check that out. You know our pick, but how could TCU find a way to get it done? There's a couple of key variables that I'm looking at that I think would very much so help their effort. And the first for me is making sure they're playing their kind of game. What I mean by that is, we saw the whole Michigan conversation during last week of, oh, they run the 3-3-5 and we're going to just kind of do the smash fest thing and we're going to run downhill, and that's all well and good. Like, if it ends up being that kind of game, that wouldn't be something that favors TCU, obviously. But offensively for TCU, they were really, really effective last week against Michigan using the motion game. So we got Tay Barber coming across, we got Darius Davis coming across, using the slot motion receivers to be able to play with the eyes of the linebackers. And when you have that motion coming across, what I mean by that, by the eyes being played with of the linebackers for Georgia, is you essentially just don't know where the football's going. Receiver motion's left, I'm looking left, ball's going back right, we got problems. And time after time against Michigan, that was what allowed TCU to have those big gash run plays, what allowed for the 70-plus yard run to set up that touchdown. That's the kind of game TCU wants to play. Because if it ends up being just a man-to-man blocking scheme, we got to run power, and we're running, more so, what else? Pin pole kind of schemes. That's going to be something that favors Georgia. Because then it's just personnel versus personnel. And Georgia has a lot of guys with stars next to their name, especially in the trenches defensively, to where you don't want to go man-to-man. You want to play to your strengths, play to your speed, get them running sideline to sideline, and capitalize off of that. So that's the first point. Really quickly, y'all, we're in Los Angeles. This is because of y'all. It's because of everyone who has joined the party and subscribed to what we do here. Thank you. If you haven't yet, now's the time. Game is going to end here pretty soon on Monday night. Confetti's going to drop. Guess what? We're still going to be having content for you. All right? We're not taking a break. There's no time off for us. 12 months of your sport. We covered accordingly. So I promise you, we got you locked in for that. The next thing I'm looking at, playing clean. Everyone's going to say it. Everyone's going to talk about who wins the turnover battle. But it's especially important for TCU because for Georgia, if you give the football away, the style in which they play, they could afford to just kind of let their offensive line take the air out of the football game. And Max Duggan is a special player, Heisman finalist. He's going to play in the NFL here very soon, make a whole lot of money. In Georgia, if you give them the opportunity to, if they can just get extra possessions, they can just run the football, take time off the clock, and say, Max Duggan, man, you're so talented, we're going to make sure you watch this one. So for TCU, it will be imperative to not give the football away and then also answer scores. You don't want to go down 10-0, 14-0, because same thing like we just said, then Georgia gets to control the tempo. So playing clean is extremely, extremely important for TCU come Monday night. Finally, take advantage of your shots. Okay, we talked about it when we talked about our quarterback duel video, but Georgia, they play a lot of man coverage, and they have the guys to do it. Now, whenever you play man coverage, the reality is it's very difficult to win 100% of the time against guys like Quentin Johnston on the outside. So the thing for TCU is make sure you don't leave any money on the table. Like, when you have your shots, cash in, because you don't know how many of those you're going to be able to have. If you get 3, go 3 for 3. If you get 2, go 2 for 2. What I'm saying about shots, I mean vertical shots. I mean the deep pass play. Whenever Quentin Johnston does win on the outside, whenever Tay Barber does sneak past the safety, when you have your shots, connect. Because you may not get a ton more. And if you connect on those shots, it gives you a much better chance to win the football game. And I don't think that's novel analysis, but it's the reality. Against Georgia, there's very little margin for error. So cash in when money's on the table. So finally, make sure you play your game. Don't get caught up in the trying to be tougher, more physical. Just play your game. It was more than good enough against Michigan. I promise, if you can play that kind of game against Georgia, take advantage of their team speed, get them running out of position, that's the kind of game you want to play. Play clean. Penalties, yes, that's for sure a thing, but turnovers. You spot Georgia turnovers, it's tough to come back from. Finally, take advantage of your opportunities. When you got deep shots vertically, cash in. Don't let it be a thing where, man, if we had just hit on that deep pass, if we had gone 3 for 3 instead of 2 for 3 over 30 yards downfield, maybe we had a chance to win the football game. Don't have that conversation after the game. Dial it in. When you win outside, make sure you get a big play out of that, all right? Fired up. Nick Brake and I are going to be on the field when this thing ends. We'll have some content for you from SoFi Stadium, from the grass level. But again, this is y'all allowing this to happen. You have allowed the program to come to Los Angeles and do some content for the national title game. We're very, very grateful. And again, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on the socials at JD Piquel on Twitter and on Instagram. Content coming for you all the way leading up to and through the game. Well, after that as well. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.